statuettes are standing stately in the hall. But will the timely crowd that has you laughing loud help you dry your tears when the new wears off of your crystal chandelier? Never did fit in too well with folks you knew, when it's plain to see that the likes of me don't fit with you. So you traded me for the gaiety of the well-to-do, and you turned away from the love I offered you. Oh, the crystal chandeliers line up the paintings on your wall. The marble statuettes are standing stately in the hall. But will the timely crowd that had you laughing loud help you dry your tears when the new wears off of your crystal chandelier? I see your picture in the news most every day. You're the chosen girl of the social world, so the stories say. But a paper smile only lasts a while, then it fades away, and the love we knew will come home to you someday. Oh, the crystal chandeliers line up the paintings on your wall. The marble statuettes are standing stately in the hall. But will the timely crowd that has you laughing loud help you dry your tears when the new wears off of your crystal chandelier? Oh, when the new wears off of your crystal chandelier. Thank you so much.
Good morning and welcome to Point Clare Cemetery. On behalf of Graham and Karen, Blossom and Michael, David and Christy, Faye and all family members and loved ones, we thank you for being here today. We also welcome those watching on live streaming. Please know that we miss you and we hold you in our hearts. We thank everyone for showing your support and ongoing love at this time of sadness. My name is Maureen and I'm honoured to be your celebrant. Before we begin, there are family members and loved ones unable to be present here today, and we would like to invite them to join in on this honouring celebration of life and love, and they will be represented by the lighting of the candle. I now invite Kaya and Kaylee to please come forward and light the candle. This candle also symbolises the legacy that John has gifted us. His children, Graham, Blossom and David. And the grandchildren, Gemma, Bradley, Amy, Lachlan, Rory, Kaya and Kaylee. The light from this candle is a beacon that will guide and protect us. When it is shared, the light never diminishes and always warms us with love. We gather here today in a common bond to pay tribute, to honour, to shed some tears and to smile as we pay our respects and remember the life of a very much loved, thoughtful, hard-working, resourceful, intelligent, clever, private and memorable man who has now been sadly lost to us. And the old school gentleman I speak of is John Graham Eager, also warmly known as Dad and Poppy, depending on where he sits in your heart. You know, when hearing about the passing of an elderly loved one, we sometimes hear comments like, oh, well, you know, he had a long life, or those cliches, we all have to go sometime, or the cricket special, he had good innings. You know, whilst those comments are literally true, they do not show an understanding of loss experienced by us. For the longer people we really care about, who are a part of our lives, the more we can feel their absence and miss them when they are gone. Family was very important to John and Dad. Even if those words, I love you, were never spoken, he showed it in his own way. He always wanted his children to have a better start in life than what he did. He ensured as best he could that they never went without. John was a very good provider, and he was very proud of all of his children's achievements. John had many career changes in his lifetime. He was devoted to every task he undertook. He was no stranger to hard work, and he had a very good work ethic. The greatest love in his life was his wife, Robin, and I'm sure that we can gain some comfort knowing that they are reunited together again. Other loves in John's life were tinkering. John could mend, bend, fix, alter, and build anything he put his mind to. He was very creative, and he had a great eye for detail. John was always early. He didn't like to be late. He liked pets, and he certainly enjoyed his good food. John was always well groomed, clothes pressed, neat and tidy, clean shaven, with his gentlemanly comb placed in his pocket. John was very computer savvy. He joined a computer club many years ago, and this was where he met his great friend Faye, and he never looked back. John was also known to be very eloquent with the pen and quite the poet. He also had a love for gemstones and created beautiful handcrafted pieces of jewellery. To put things very simply, John and Dad lived for those he loved. He was a good person. He certainly did walk to the beat of his own individual, quiet and private drum. He kept pretty much to himself. He did, however, place the highest value on his family. He was their safety officer and always watched out for them, and his heart was always in the right place. So let us remember John, Dad, and Poppy well here today. For John, you are missed, you are loved, and you will always, forever, be remembered. And now we come to the heart of the service. As I invite Blossom, John's daughter, she's coming up and she's going to share her dad's life story.
Take my glasses off so I can read. I'm going to try my best. Our dad, father-in-law, Poppy, and loyal friend, John Graham Eager. Born in Des Moines on the 2nd of September 1936, his parents John Barker Eager and Winifred Marion Eager. He was the oldest of 5 children. His siblings were Peter, Frank, Robert, and Winsome. They lived a simple life in Sydney and often vacated on the Central Coast at Saratoga, where they had family. They loved coming to their little waterfront holiday, spending countless hours playing in the water, boating, and going to the local beaches to play in the sand and swimming at Avoca, Terrigal, and the Entrance. They decided to make the move to Saratoga when he was 5 years old in 1941, and he has never left Saratoga since. He was very proud of this fact. Like any family, during these times, with his father away serving his country, it was hard times. They didn't have much, and his mum tried her best with 5 children to look after and feed. His hate of chicken arose in these years as he had to catch, kill, pluck, and then his mum would steam and boil them. So no more chicken he could eat, unless Mum, Robin, would do a sneaky and hide it. He attended the local primary school, Brisbania School, which is still going strong today, with Graham, David, myself and my children attending the same school. So 3 generations have passed through those gates over many years. Dad was an academic and tried his hardest at school, achieving his high school certificate at Gosford High School. Dad was a quiet achiever, kept to himself, very hard-working, worried about absolutely everything. Quite a stress head, I think you call it. No wonder where I get it from. When Dad went into the big wide world, he had a few jobs. Worked as a wardsman at Gosford Hospital, the taxation office, and finally joining the team at Pioneer Concrete, where he held many positions over his 40-odd years with them, eventually settling into driving the concrete truck. He made friends among the men. Everyone liked Dad, as he was hard-working. He never made a fuss and took pride in his truck. Never had an accident. Mr. Milne, Ian, said that on one occasion they got back to the yard late and Dad fell over while washing out the Adgie, and he went to find Ian with his arm out and his face turned and said, "Is it bleeding? Is it bleeding? I can't look. Is it bleeding?" And he said he hated the sight of blood and he was as white as a ghost. He said, "We patched him up and off they went back doing, went about their business." Dad met the love of his life, Robin, Anne Beaumont. Well, that's what Mum said. They married at Holy Cross Church, South Kincumber, on the 18th of May, 1963, and settled in Saratoga, renting in Llewellyn Street, then buying their forever home in Stain Road, where they settled and raised their family, Graham, me, and David. We had a humble home and upbringing. Dad and Mum both worked hard. We never wanted for anything, but at the same time, we didn't have much. Mum gave Dad instructions, and he just did what he was told until Mum passed away in 2006. We grew up happy and healthy and enjoyed our life and family on the water. Later on, Margaret, his sister-in-law, bought the house next door to them, and then his parents-in-law, Nan and Pop, bought the house next door to Margaret. So finally, had all 3 houses next to each other for many, many happy years. My family moved into Nan and Pop's house in 2007 to keep an eye on both Dad and Auntie Marg. Even though Dad worked a lot and hard, he had time to tinker, build, make everything and anything. He was so clever. He built things around the house like rock gardens, rock walls, fish pond, concreting paths, steps, driveways, renovating the kitchen, bathroom, extra rooms, etc. He built his own boat called Maggie May. He was so proud of this. We loved going out in it. It is now buried under my front yard at Nan and Pop's house. He even built a new mast for the Sabo sailing boat, the Woody Woodpecker. He would sew for hours the sails and fix the buttons. Cars, he would work on them for hours to fix. He put the water supply pipes from the road to the house, borrowing all the tools, etc. from Mr. Roy Scott up the road. Anything he put his mind to, he could do. Anything. Those hands were his tools. He would take the boys to safety in Naughty Glass. That's the boat. He would help them with their cars. He would make all my dance props and help Mum with my costumes. And there were plenty of them over 15 years of dancing. He would screw my taps onto my tap shoes, drive me to all my concerts and dance exams without protest. I don't think he had a choice, just saying. Naughty Glass, our boat, lives on in Dad's memory. Man, it has done some hours on the water over the years, maybe a 1976 model. And we still have it today, sitting in the backyard. Mum had a thing for nice gemstones, so they started lapidary. And Mum got Dad to join the local lapidary club in Arimba, where he went to learn how to cut gemstones and make their own jewellery. He made some beautiful pieces. I have one on today. Mum and Dad would travel all round to buy stones, look at others' work, go to gem shows, and then tell Dad what to make, and of course he did. He kept this up until not that long ago, when his hands and eyes were starting to fail him. Another one of Mum's great ideas, she wanted to be a radio host with the local community radio station 50 Plus. So she roped Dad into turning the boys' bedroom into a recording studio, which he did with gusto. He would spend many hours and hours helping her record music, do interviews, copy vinyl records and songs onto discs. He was so talented, so many different directions he could adapt himself to. He said we had to save to buy our first car, no borrowing money, and we had to learn to check the water, oil, and change a tyre. He instilled a great work ethic into our lives, taught us to behave, be kind, and truthful, and nothing comes easy without bloody hard work. He saw us 3 kids grow up, move on with our lives, having families of our own, helped us when we asked for help. He was lost for a while without Mum. He was lost for a while when Mum passed 15 years ago. He didn't know what to do with himself. Auntie Marg and myself fed him over this time, as he was a horrible cook. And he was so damn fussy. Not sure if this was due to his childhood meals or Mum spoiling him. She was an amazing cook, or both. It was red meat and 3 veg. That was it. Cooked different ways. Oh, he did like prawns and crabs too. David's had some funny stories. David said Dad's funny eating habits were the brunt of many jokes for him. He was just like us as kids, when we would go from Mum and Dad's to Auntie Marg's to Nan's to see what everyone was having for dinner, hoping it was better than what we were having at home, and hope for an invite. I'd ask Dad what he wanted for dinner. If he wanted to come for dinner, he would say, "Oh, I'll have to go and check with Bloss, make sure she hasn't already cooked something." But secretly, he was just checking who had the best meal. Pretty much every second meal David and his family cooked for him, he would tell him something. He waited till he ate halfway through, and then he would tell him it was something he didn't like. In 2001, David and Daniel and Dan's dad went on a dad's camping trip. So they went to Gosford to Adelaide via Cameron's Corner and Inamenka, is that how you say it? And the Strzelecki Desert, sleeping in swags under the stars, constantly shaking his head at Dan and David's commentary, and making stupid videos, cooking on the car engine. David watched the video they had made for the first time 2 nights ago, and even back then jokes were made about serving him chicken sausages and Dan calling him Chicken Man. We stopped at the Prairie Hotel in Outback, South Australia, known for its feral food, like roadkill mixed grill, an awesome selection of pies, emu, roo, camel, croc. I bought Dad a pie for lunch and he ate it inside the pub. I waited until he got halfway through, then asked him how his camel pie tasted. The look was priceless. I didn't know if he was going to vomit, choke, cough, pass out, or all of the above. We all nearly choked on our own pies. We were laughing so hard. Ever since we were kids, even to this day, it's been 2 rings when dinner's ready or we need to talk to him. When he heard the rings, he was off to make his big cup of tea and bring that with him to whoever's house he was having dinner at. Now that's a thing of the past. As life and technology changed, he joined Kincumber Computer Club to learn more, as he was always eager, excuse the pun, to learn new things, to keep his mind active and to fill his time. He made some lovely friends there and even joined the admin team. And that's where he met Faye. They started chatting and realised they had things in common, and this was the start of a blossoming, yes, another pun, loving friendship. They shared their passion of the tech world and computers, learning to copy music and CDs, burning videos, which he still did right up until a few weeks ago. He loved it. They have since shared many years together, keeping each other company, sharing coffees, lunches, Dad paid Mondays, Faye paid Wednesdays, dinners and trips away to Glen Innes and Windsor, to gem shows, and countless trips to Sydney where they would explore the city, going to Vivid. They shared holidays to Tasmania so Faye could introduce him to her family and show him around Tassie, which they did 4 or so times over the years. He became quite a hit with Faye's family, and Anne is here today to say a few words after me about that. I know deep within my heart that Dad loved Faye, and they treasured many... Hang on, I lost my spot. I know deep within my heart that Dad loved Faye, and they treasured every moment they shared together. They weathered this COVID pandemic over the last 2 years, which meant they couldn't travel or see each other as often. So they would talk for hours on the phone. He would ring at 7:30 every morning to check she was alive and if she had her tablets. And then they would talk again at 10:30 to talk about what they were going to do for the day. Last phone call would be around 8 p.m. when Faye would ring Dad to make sure he took his tablets. Always looking out for each other. Well, I think I've talked enough about Dad. For a man of few words, once you got him started, sometimes it was hard to stop him. I feel a bit the same today. Dad, thank you for everything you have done for us over the years. We love you. We will miss you dreadfully. We will miss you walking around the properties, checking everything out like creeping Jesus. 1 minute you're not there, the next you just appear. By the way, Annie Marg nicknamed you that, so you can take that up with her later. Miss you worrying about my washing and whether it was going to rain. And I will miss our daily updates from our foreman, from you, our foreman, who is going to look after my job site now. I wish you could see the house when it was finished. Take care. Goodbye. See you in the next life, gadget guy. That's because you have so many damn gadgets, it's going to take us a lifetime to work out how to use them. Saradise will never be the same. End of an era. Thank you.
Thanks, Blossom. That was beautiful. And now I invite Anne to come forward and share with us.
It is with such great sadness that we say goodbye to John from his Tasmanian family. I'm Anne, John's favourite Tassie. John was always welcomed at our place and showed himself to be a true gentleman and a pleasure to spend time with. I don't know if you guys realise that John wasn't much of a hugger, which made things very awkward for his Tasmanian family, because we just are huge huggers. And every time he'd come to the airport, we'd run up to give him a hug, and I'm sure in the back of his mind he could hear the theme music to Jaws. Over the many years, John and Mum stayed in our flat and used it as a base for their various statewide travels. I think they have seen more of Tassie than most people who have lived there. He spent so much time in Tassie that a committee was formed, and he was formally adopted as a Tasmanian, and he does have the certificate to prove that he was a Tasmanian. My family and myself have never seen Mum happier than during those years that she spent with John. We have some great pictures of all of us together to remind us of the good times, especially the photos of Mum and John on the Harley. And John managed to Photoshop in his expertise that bike into several locations around Tassie, so it looked like him and Mum just rode around Tassie on Richard's Harley. We offer our deepest condolences to John's New South Wales family, and I thank you.
Thanks, Anne, for sharing that. So we've all heard some honouring and respectful words about John, Dad and Poppy. And now we have the opportunity to reflect and remember special moments shared with him as we listen to Where I Get Where I'm Going by Brad Paisley and Dolly Parton.
When I get where I'm going, on the far side of the sky, the first thing that I'm gonna do is spread my wings and fly. I'm gonna land beside a lion and run my fingers through his mane, or I might find out what it's like to ride a drop of rain. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, there'll be only happy tears. I will shed the sins and struggles I have carried all these years, and I'll leave my heart wide open. I will love and have no fear. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, don't cry for me down here. I'm gonna walk with my granddaddy, and he'll match me step for step, and I'll tell him how I've missed him every minute since he left. And then I'll hug his neck. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, there'll be only happy tears. I will shed the sins and struggles I have carried all these years, and I'll leave my heart wide open. I will love and have no fear. Yeah, when I get where I'm going, don't cry for me down here. So much pain and so much darkness in this world we stumble through. All these questions I can't answer, and so much work to do. But when I get where I'm going, and I see my Maker's face, I'll stand forever in the light of His amazing grace. Yeah, when I get where
And I now invite Christy to come forward and share a special poem chosen by the family.
Poem called Dad. He never looked for praises, he was never one to boast. He just went on quietly working for the ones he loved the most. His dreams were seldom spoken, his wants were very few, and most of the time his worries went unspoken too. He was there, a firm foundation, through all our storms of life, a sturdy hand to hold on to in times of stress and strife. A true friend we could turn to when times were good or bad. One of our greatest blessings, the man that we called Dad.
Beautifully read. Thank you so much. And on behalf of all the family, they would like to take this opportunity and thank everyone here and those watching from afar for taking time out of your day to share in this celebration of John's life. We all understand how difficult it is to talk about all the aspects of John, Dad and Poppy's life in such a short amount of time, and the family know and appreciate this. So they warmly invite everyone to join them at David and Christy's home at the conclusion of this service, and that will be at 15 Stain Road, Saratoga. And this will be your opportunity to share your memories and tell your tales about John in a more relaxed atmosphere. And now it is time for us to say farewell, thank you, and goodbye to John, Dad and Poppy. And in honour of his Irish heritage, I share the Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may all of us hold you in the palms of our hands. So today we thank you, John, for taking care of your family. We thank you for showing us that hard work will always get you to where you want to go. We thank you for your honesty. We thank you for teaching us and showing us how to be kind to people. We thank you, Dad and Poppy, for inviting all of us on this very special journey that was your life. And please know that your many good deeds never went unnoticed and will always live on. Family and loved ones, if you are able, I kindly invite you to all be upstanding. Tenderly and reverently, we now offer John, Dad and Poppy's earthly body and gentle soul for committal as we return him to Mother Earth. We now set his spirit free. He is now freed from the challenges of earthly living. John, all your tasks and duties are completed here on earth. So leave us now very peacefully, without effort, without worry, with no regrets, and there's no need to be anxious. So go safe in the knowledge that yours was a good life, and that you were and are, and forever will be, very much loved. We have made peace with your passing, and we all wish you love and happiness. Leave now and rest in gentle peace. I now invite Brian and Alex to please come forward and prepare John for his journey.
Well, it's alright. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's alright. If you live the life you please. Well, it's alright. Doing the best you can. Well, it's alright. As long as you lend a hand.
You can sit around and wait for the phone to ring, waiting for someone to tell you everything. Sit around and wonder what tomorrow will bring. Maybe a diamond ring.
Well, it's alright. Even if they say you're wrong. Well, it's alright. Sometimes you gotta be strong. Well, it's alright. As long as you got somewhere to lay. Well, it's alright. Every day is Judgment Day.
Maybe somewhere down the road away, you'll think of me and wonder where I am these days. Maybe somewhere down the road when somebody plays Purple Haze.
Well, it's alright. Even when push comes to shove. Well, it's alright. If you got someone to love. Well, it's alright. Everything will work out fine. Well, it's alright. We're going to the end of the line.
Don't have to be ashamed of the car I drive. I'm just glad to be here, happy to be alive. And it don't matter if you're by my side, I'm satisfied.
Well, it's alright. Even if you're old and gray. Well, it's alright. You still got something to say. Well, it's alright. Remember to live and live. Well, it's alright. The best you can do is forgive. Well, it's alright. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's alright. If you live the life you please. Well, it's alright. Even if the sun don't shine. Well, it's alright. We're going to
Now, just when you thought your duties were over, I would like to invite all the grandchildren to come forward and extinguish the candle of remembrance. Well done. Thank you. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This now concludes our graveside service for John Graham Eager. And let us remember, goodbyes are not forever. Goodbyes are not the end. It simply means we will miss you until we meet again. So take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and best wishes. Thank you.
Well, it's alright. Riding around in the breeze. Well, it's alright. If you live the life you please. Well, it's alright. Doing the best you can. Well, it's alright. As long as you lend a hand.
You can sit around and wait for the phone to ring, waiting for someone to tell you everything. Sit around and wonder what tomorrow will bring. Maybe a diamond ring.
Well, it's alright. Even if they say you're wrong. Well, it's alright. Sometimes you gotta be strong. Well, it's
somewhere down the road away. You'll think of me and wonder where I am these days. Maybe somewhere down the road when somebody